develop further to become sustainable and stand in its own right.
And lastly, the Kremlin says it has not received any official information about the outcome of Ukraine's peace talks held on Sunday in Geneva. The United States and Ukraine said in a joint statement after the talks that they had drafted a refined peace framework, although they did not provide specifics. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that the Kremlin would not be discussing details of any draft agreement via the media. He also said there were no plans yet for a meeting this week between Russia and U.S. negotiators. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onelin Ntsinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective. Time to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the ideas driving Africa forward. The Upside on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
It is 5 wonderful minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. No, it is not breakfast on Saturday. It is a Monday, a lovely midday on Monday. And my name is Ntsako Mhlanga, and I'm going to be holding it down for you until 4 p.m. today. I'm actually going to be wondering and asking you uncomfortable questions like, did you take out the meat? Did you have some lunch? Are you wondering if the kids were fetched from school? All of these, you can even answer me on WhatsApp +27634069126. We've got a lot to unpack today. A very eventful weekend. I feel like we're in the morning after one of the biggest events. So you know how when you have those big African events taking place, and then the morning after is when everyone debriefs. I feel like I want us to have something similar to that. But I want us to also take a trip to Ghana. There's an amazing event happening there. It's Global Entrepreneurship Week Festival, and Brand South Africa is holding it down for the South Africans there, but it's also entrepreneurs across the entire continent. This is very exciting. This is groundbreaking for all of us because it means that we are trying to reframe what entrepreneurship looks like, the world of entrepreneurs, and how we are providing funding, resources, and some of the information that they need to get through the day to day. And we're going to be speaking to the general manager of Brand South Africa, Jimmy Ranamane. And of course, a little bit later on, we're going to be looking at the Chefs Association. And we're going to be speaking about the partnership they have with Malaysia, which is one of the global leaders in sustainably produced palm oil. And we have now gained a partnership with Malaysia. And we're going to talk about what that partnership looks like now in terms of the provision of a palm oil. Then we move to the second hour of the show. We're going to talk about the repo rate announcement and the property market. So this is for those who are looking to purchase a house, even if you're looking to rent or rent out your property or sell your property. With the repo rate looking the way that it is right now, I feel like it confuses a lot of people, right? Because we see a decline and then one moment there's an increase and then you're like, okay, cool. What is my bond? What is my budget? It is very difficult to budget with a property in mind when the repo rate is constantly changing and it doesn't look the same every day. So how do we navigate those terrains? And we're going to be chatting to a team that is going to talk us through it. The one thing though, and for those who listen to the Oasis on Saturday mornings, you know me, as much as I speak very big words, I love it when people explain things in detail. Like when you break it down for me. So what is even a repo? What is a repo? Because for me, when I think repo, I think repossessed. So is that the same thing? So I want us to really get to the nitty gritty of it without using all these big fancy words. Especially because those regards are no longer that kind around 1 o'clock, hey? Maybe there's that one meeting that frustrated you today. So we need to make sure that everyone understands what it means when we talk about it in the news and our shows. You know, when we look at the likes of repo rates and property markets, what does that look like and sound like? And how does that affect me as an individual? And then we wrap things off with our spotlight of the day, Nozipho Shabalala, who's currently in Nairobi, and she is gracing the stages and talking about how, as female CEOs, we can unite and bring about some change in the landscape in which we work in. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great show. In between all of that, we've got some great music. So on social media, if you want that particular song that's going to kickstart your day, or maybe kickstart to the second half of your day, on @Channel Africa 1 is where you can find us. We've got an amazing team today that is holding down, making me look good, sound good, and ultimately make you feel good. My name is Ntsako Mhlanga. Welcome to The Upside.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Deogratus Bwire, wewe kama mkurugenzi wa shirika la kutetea haki za binadamu kutoka kule Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Maandamano yameendelea kwa siku ya pili. Nini kinaendelea?
Kwanza mimi ningependa tusiliweke kama wafuasi wa upinzani. Kwa sababu kiukweli mimi nilipata kidogo kushuhudia watu waliokuwa wanapita barabarani hawakuwa kwa namna yote ile wamebeba bendera ya chama chochote cha upinzani.
Umezungumzia swala zima vitu ambavyo havijakaa sawa vinapaswa kurekebishwa. Vitu hivyo ni nini?
Hivyo vitu ambavyo havijakaa sawa tayari nimeshavisema huko. Najua kumekuwepo na mtiririko wa matukio mengi sana. Watu ambao wanakuwa wanapinga masuala kadha wa kadha ambayo yanaonekana kufanywa na vyombo vya dola kwenye mitandao au hata pia nje, wamekuwa wakichukuliwa hatua.
Darubini ya Afrika kila Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa kuanzia saa 11 kamili hadi saa 12 kamili jioni majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
It's the kids, baby.
Jason Derulo,
Hasimbaduma Baskosho ingenkinga Sekubalisela
Howju
Baskuphulimiswa
Wezombi
Sukumisa umzimba
NTA,
Baskosho ingenkinga Sekubalisela Baskuphulimiswa Sukumisa umzimba Koma sava Koma savana na Aye sava Aye savana na
Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Aïe ça va.
Aye sava
Aïe ça va.
Aye
Aïe ça va. Aïe ça va.
Koma sava
So easy, it just be rocky.
Comment ça va? What's the price to love you? Would you still leave here with me if I didn't have $1? You fucked up my brother, put lipstick on my color. Could be my dirty secret if we keep it undercover. Comment ça va? It's nice to meet you. You couldn't wait, so you said fuck me in the club. What made you walk my way? Was it my smile or my diamond rolling? You ain't seen nobody else in the place till you heard me say, comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Aïe ça va. 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 Comment ça va?
So easy, it just be rocky. So easy, it just be rocky.
How are you?
alaikum. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Namaste. ¿Cómo ça va? ¿Cómo ça va? ¿Cómo ça va? ¿Cómo ça va? Aya ça va. 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 ¿Cómo ça va? So easy, it just be rocky.
Itiwe sanibonani hamba namajita sekreteti yapila ntwana wena unjani ayubona ngithi vele ufunani ayuwezongi sanibonani hamba namajita sekreteti yapila ntwana wena unjani ayubona ngithi vele ufunani ayuwezongi saba saba tata
Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Aya ça va. 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 Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Aya ça va. 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 So easy, it just be rocky. So easy, it just be rocky. Comic Slicer.
13:16 Central African Time. Welcome back to it. Some good old music featuring Jason Derulo, Khalil Harrison with Koma Sava. Some great music to start your show. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? It is 1:15, so I'm sure some emails have gone out, some have been received. Maybe you're on your way to pick up the little ones from school. It's the very last few times that you have to fetch them from school, because we're at the end of the year now, so you're probably preparing that fridge to be raided every single day. Either way, I hope you're doing it with us on Channel Africa on the upside. I'm looking forward to having you here until 4 p.m. Central African Time. Let's get right into it. So today we are celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week. It is situated in Ghana. Africa seems to be the host for some amazing global events. I'm loving it. There's no better host than an African. And to help us unpack South Africa's presence in, especially Africa's position in the Global Entrepreneurship Week, is the General Manager of Brand South Africa, Jimmy Ranamane. Jimmy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Can't complain at all.
Well, I guess in your case, it is good morning. It's about 12:15-ish, 11:15-ish, if I'm not mistaken. You guys are 2 hours behind us.
Yes, it's 11:15.
Amazing. So talk to us about this. What is Global Entrepreneurship Week, and why is it such an important global platform for innovation and SME development?
The Global Entrepreneurship Festival is actually gathering of actually like-minded entrepreneurs with prospective investors. So you have leaders of industry or captains of industry, particularly those who have been in the investment space, representing different sectors, being linked with young entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, particularly entrepreneurs in the African continent, where we know that if we foster and promote entrepreneurship, we might be able to actually boost our economies in the continent. And I think the role for this festival is to actually ensure that there's economic growth, there's actually jobs for young people, but more than anything else, we drive entrepreneurship in the continent and our globe.
If jobs is at one of the, one of the factors or the topics that are being discussed, are we seeing a growth in the provision of jobs through SMMEs? Are we seeing more small businesses being at the pinnacle of providing these jobs for people in Africa?
I think even though it's at the infancy stage, yes, a lot of SMMEs create around 3 to 10 jobs for their citizens. The only challenge, I think, particularly in the African context, is the fact that most of these jobs are not recorded formally so. But there is that growth, and I think if we nurture the space of entrepreneurship, we might actually see greater numbers than what we're seeing right now.
Jimmy, I'm going to ask that we hold or hang 10 for just a moment. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. It is a 13:20 Central African time right here on The Upside.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. The Upside. On The Upside, your voice matters.
Just 9 minutes to go before we find out what's happening in our sports and econ. But for now, we are in conversation with Jimmy Ranamane, who is a general manager of Brand South Africa. We're talking all things Global Entrepreneurship Week, a very exciting week for innovators, people who have decided to monetize their solutions for some of the societal problems that we have, which I think is an insane superpower. And Jimmy, to bring you in here, particularly for the young and early stage entrepreneurs, what are some of the challenges? Because I do know that with the GEWF, it's one of the pillars that you guys prioritize is the youth. What are some of the challenges and opportunities that are positioned for the youth and early stage entrepreneurs?
The biggest challenge is the availability of information or access to information before we move to anything else. Information in terms of where to get funding, where to actually get the right resources, because of not everyone is looking for funding, but also how to actually structure your innovation and commercialize innovation so that it is investment ready or it appeals to investors. Sometimes you find that we've got great innovation, but because from an investment perspective, we are unable to state our case. I think there is that shortage or the gap in terms of the skills or knowledge in terms of how to pitch, how to actually put through your portfolio proposal so that investors can see an opportunity in it.
And you know what's interesting? When you speak about investors, we are currently still hosting, South Africa is still hosting a number of investors globally. And I think the issue of brand positioning has been one of the main topics because you as a country don't just represent yourself. And I feel like as a country, as an entrepreneur, you always have to find yourself in a position to market your business or your country in a way that would attract investors, right? What advice would you give, considering Brand South Africa is known for that? Make sure that your brand positioning is attractive to the world, that we are known for a certain thing, that we're able to brand ourselves and position ourselves within the African continent and the global scale as well.
I think from a branding perspective is actually first thing first, know who your audience is. I think with a lot of entrepreneurs, when they actually innovate in terms of the end or brand, from a branding and marketing perspective, they look at the end goal where they are talking to consumers. But I think first thing first, from a branding perspective, look at the different audiences that you have. For example, your partners, you need to be able to brand yourself properly to position that brand with prospective partners that will help you actually take the innovation from one stage to another. Secondly, there should be different branding or brand positioning for investors. The messaging should actually talk to those investors before you're even thinking about consumers. But I think what is great or what is required is actually just ensure that from a brand positioning, just be clear what problem are you solving or what solutions are you bringing on board.
And what are we hoping to get from Global Entrepreneurship Week? Are we looking for people to start maybe planting their businesses in different countries? Are we looking for more collaboration? What are we looking and hoping to achieve with this festival?
I think the first one, we're looking for more collaboration. I think the more we collaborate from an African perspective, I think we will actually achieve shared prosperity. That's my opinion. But I think the other thing at the back of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we are saying let's integrate. So I think integration is one of those elements that we are trying to achieve, and then ultimately, for us, it's actually the element of economic growth and fostering that spirit of entrepreneurship within the continent, particularly because of the continent is a young continent. So young people are innovative. So we just need to just give them that space. And I think the festival does that. And for us as Brand South Africa, one of the things that we are trying to achieve as well when we're here is to support one of our provinces, besides getting our messaging across from an entrepreneurship perspective or promoting the entrepreneurs that are here. We actually want to support, or we will be supporting the province who are bidding to host the Global Entrepreneurship Festival in 2027. So that is one message that we are trying to drive. And if you look at events such as these ones, looking at the numbers that I saw here, where you have 5,000 or so, or even more, who are visiting Ghana at the moment because of the festival, or who are participating at the festival. If you have such an event in South Africa, from an event tourism perspective, it will actually add a great deal. But also besides that, when you look from an local economic perspective, you can actually get everyone to participate. Doesn't matter how small they are, from our own vendors who would be selling food, but also the tourism value chain stands to benefit a lot from an event such as this one.
And finally, Jimmy, the year's kind of come to an end. I think you guys at this point, we're wrapping up the year, but we're also looking to 2026. Are there some themes that you could kind of, allude to regarding 2026? I think this year we've kind of made our mark as Africans, being the host of global events. What do you think 2026 is going to look like in terms of theme-wise? What do you think we're going to be leading with?
I think shared prosperity, inclusivity, and equality. That's what we'll be actually leading with, particularly when we participate as a collective in international platforms as the African continent. But I think one thing that we are also trying to actually drive as Brand South Africa is actually pushing for Made in Africa, because I think it's about time the world knows that there are these things that are coming from the African continent, and as an African continent, we can actually give the world some of the best innovations, best products, particularly quality products that we actually are known for. Anything that comes from the continent on most occasions, including South Africa, it's actually of good quality.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Jimmy, thank you so much for representing Africa, South Africa, and really how we are positioning our brand. I think we've really made a significant mark this year. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
All right, that was Jimmy Ranamane, who is the General Manager of Brand South Africa. And we're about a minute to go before we head to our sports and econ news. And, this kind of made me laugh when they were talking about branding for some crazy reason. In my mind, I thought about like high school, right? And I don't know if it's because I work with kids, but I thought about high school. And the US right now, don't they look like that bully who just lost his friends to the good side, and now he's standing on his own, but he's still trying to like make himself seem cool, but everyone's on the nerdy side? Guys, African people, we're actually very chilled. Like I always say, we're a very chilled group of people. We give a lot of grace. We even invite those that we don't like. Your mom has probably invited the person she doesn't like, or that family member she doesn't like, to some of your birthday parties. She's done that. But if you're going to reject our invites and now want to come to the after party, oh, my dear, it does not work like that. The US of A, it does not work like that, my angels, and I'm glad you learned the hard way. It is 13:29 Central African time. On social media, we are at Channel Africa 1. also on WhatsApp, +27634069126. Let me know if there's a particular jammy jam that you want to hear today to kickstart your afternoon. Maybe you're thinking about that chicken you forgot to defrost this morning and you had planned for this amazing dinner. It's okay. It's all right, and maybe today the universe is trying to tell you to just relax, take things easy, take it slow, guys. It's November. We are barely using 10% of our brain this time. It is 13:30 Central African time. It's time for news.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
It's a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Musibudi Makura with your latest sports news at the Sawa. So Dr. Desiree Ellis, the head coach of the South African women's national football team, Banyana says she will use the upcoming international friendly match against Morocco to assess individual performances building up to the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament. So Ellis announced her 26-player squad, including 3 reserves over the weekend, expected to assemble for camp later this afternoon to prepare for their clash against the Atlas Lionesses. That clash taking place on the 2nd of December. So Ellis says this is not only about the scoreline, as she also expects a good performance from her team.
If you put up a good performance, you obviously get a positive result. We have a little bit more time, which is really helpful, because in the past couple of matches you'd come to camp, leave, 2 days later you play, so there isn't much you can do. So there's a few things that we'll be obviously working on with having a lot of new players coming in, 10 players to be exact, in the 26, and of the 26 only 23 will be part of the matchday squad. But being at home, it gives us an opportunity to work on certain things.
So Ellis also adds that this upcoming clash will be a platform for the young players to raise their hands ahead of next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament. She explains her expectations of the youngsters.
The same with Bonolo, the same with Mdalwa on a regular basis. Casey's the goalkeeper of the under-20 national team, so they've regularly played in those competitions. So we've had a look at them at the clubs as well. I mean, you look at Kwezi week in, week out. Unfortunate that Durban Ladies got relegated, but you look at a week in, week out, bringing what she needs to bring. Bonolo, second highest goal scorer in the league, and hasn't even played a full season.
On to some cricket news now. Marco Jansen delivered a masterclass in fast bowling to take 6 for 48 and propel India to a meagre 201 all out in reply to South Africa's 489 all out on the third day of the second test at the Baraspara Stadium in Guwahati on a Monday this morning. So the tourists sensibly opted not to enforce a follow-on and batted again, adding 26 without a loss to their huge first innings led by 228 runs, or rather lead of about 228 runs for the overall lead of 314 runs, and with 2 days still to play, appeared to be heading to a victory which would then give them a 2-0 series victory following their 30-run victory in the first test at Eden Park just last week. It was also Jansen's 4th 5-wicket haul and also came on the back of his career best 93, with the bat also making the first test to be staged in Guwahati, an immensely memorable one for the brilliant all-rounder. So day 4 will take place tomorrow, where South Africa will resume on 26 runs for the loss of no wicket, with a massive lead of 314 runs. Onto this now, Lewis Hamilton said he's not looking forward to the 2026 season, Formula One season, after a difficult year continued with a tough Las Vegas Grand Prix over the weekend. Now, Britain's 7-time world champion qualified last for the race, the first time that has happened on pure pace in his 19-year Formula One career. The Ferrari driver swiftly worked his way to the field to get into the points position, but he could not overtake the Sauber of Nico Hülkenberg on the medium tyre in the closing stages of the race. Having finished in 10th position, Hamilton's classification was later moved to 8th by virtue of the McLarens of Lando Norris, as well as Oscar Piastri being disqualified for a technical infringement. Meanwhile, Ferrari team principal Frederic Vasseur said he would would consider Hamilton's comments after the team debrief, noting they were made in the heat of the moment. And finally, James Harden set the Los Angeles Clippers record of 55 points in the team's 131-116 victory against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, the 36-year-old guard surpassed the previous Clippers record of 52 points in a game, which had been jointly held by Bob McDowell as well as Charles Smith. Now, Harden's efforts helped the Clippers improve their record to 5 wins and 11 losses this season. Elsewhere in the NBA over the weekend, Nikola Jokic put in a fine individual performance of his own, but the Serb's 44 points could not prevent the Denver Nuggets losing 128-123 to the Sacramento Kings, who ended their 8-game losing streak. In the process, meanwhile, Detroit Pistons remain top of the Eastern Province, having extended their winning run to 12 games, which is their best sequence since 2004, with a 129-116 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. But the Washington Wizards slipped to their 14th consecutive defeat, losing 121-120 to the Chicago Bulls over the weekend. Well, the time is at 13:35 p.m. Central African Time, and that's a wrap of your sports news on the first hour of The Upside. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, remember to send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Alternatively, call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Africa. It's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K
or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Tamo kutuli bwanji ndi
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. And join the conversation. Channel Africa, the African Perspective. The Upside, 1 to 4 p.m. Central African Time. With Deboholi Kuleni and Ntsako Mhlanga. Only on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
13:37 Central African Time. Thank you so much, Musiburi, for that bulletin. And now it's time for Econ.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Ntsako. Starting off with the story, the South African Parliament Standing Committee on Appropriations has written to Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana seeking clarity on the cost of hosting the G20 Leaders Summit. The committee's chairperson, Musi Maimane, says that the committee has a constitutional obligation to monitor public spending and ensure that public funds are used appropriately. The summit concluded yesterday with a joint declaration committing to multilateral cooperation. Maimane says South Africa's history of inflating procurement cost when hosting events of such magnitude is what prompted the action.
So the follow-up question then becomes, have you been able to spend within that envelope or beyond that envelope? Because the budget pronouncements need to remain integrous, because the last place you want to be as a budgeting process is to pronounce that you are going to spend 600 million rands on something, and then later you come back and you say it was over 1 billion rands or 2 billion rands, because what that means is that there's lack of integrity in the budgeting process.
And the biggest obstacles for farmers in South Africa who try to sustain food security are climate change, arid soil conditions, a scarcity of water, and a general lack of resources. According to a smallhold farmer in Bloemfontein, Free State Province, these conditions limit farms to produce at full capacity. As the G20 summit wrapped up yesterday, he begged members of government to also ensure the trade policies consider smallholder farmers. African Farmers Association of South Africa's Mangaung chairperson is Mike Makwa.
I would love them to assist the smallholder farmers because they are the major role players in terms of food security. If they can assist in terms of equipping the smallholder farmers, in terms of changing the policies which are going to suit the smallholder farmers so that they can be able to be the role players also in the industry.
And Mozambique has awarded a 30-year concession to its state-owned companies, including national oil firm ENH, to construct and operate natural gas facilities at the port of Beira and in Hasoro. This initiative is a part of the country's efforts to develop its oil and gas reserves despite challenges faced by an Islamic-linked insurgency affecting projects like Total Energy's LNG plant. The concession will be managed through a special purpose vehicle involving various partners and covers a liquefied natural gas terminal, storage facilities and Romco pipeline connecting it to South Africa. The new infrastructure is intended to enhance LNG transportation from the Ravumba Basin, support domestic gas supply and facilitate industrialization, according to the National Petroleum Regulator. Onto this now, the World Bank has lifted Kenya's economic growth forecast for this year to almost 5% today, citing a pickup in the construction sector in East Africa's largest economy. The bank says some of Kenya's main industries, like construction, suffered last year partly as concerns mounted about the government's finances, but the trend has begun to reverse. A new report on Kenya's economy says signs of recovery are emerging and that the rebound in construction in the first half of 2025 had offset a slowdown in manufacturing. The result is that the economy is now projected to grow by 4.9% this year, up from the World Bank's May forecast of 4.5%, and maintain that rate of growth over the next 2 years. And German business morale declined this month, with the business climate index dropping to 88.1% from 88.4% in October, contrary to analyst expectations. IFO President Clemens Faust indicated a lack of faith in a near-term recovery. The decline affected all sectors except for a slight improvement in services. This trend aligns with the HCOB Preliminary Purchasing Managers Index, which noted reduced momentum in Germany's private sector. However, companies reported a slightly better assessment of their current situation, reflecting a shift in sentiment after the new government took office and in a peak confidence reached in August. A look at your financial indicators. $1 US in Nigeria is trading at 1,450. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 30. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shillings 66, and in Zambia, it's 22 kwacha 93. A look at your BRICS countries. $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 40. Russia is 79 rubles 3. India, it's 89 rupees 60. China, it's 7 yuan 10, and in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 36 cents. $1 is trading at 76 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. A look at your commodities. Gold is trading at $4,067 and platinum at $1,515 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $62.14 a barrel. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business News, I am Matapela Mahabe.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Africa Update, your daily dose of African insights with Lulu Kabu on Channel Africa.
Prometi pra mim que hoje nós
só vamos conversar. Prometi pra mim que hoje nós não vamos nos tocar. Será? Mas o teu sorriso, o teu abraço disse logo não. Mas esse teu charme, esse teu olhar disse logo não. Quem te mandou usar esse perfume? Quem te mandou fazer isso comigo? Quem te mandou usar esse perfume? Quem te mandou fazer isso comigo? Combinamos não se tocasse que eu já tô bababué. Tipo um bebê, não precisa babeter. Combinamos não se tocasse que eu já tô bababué. Tipo um bebê, não precisa babeter. Tô bem tete, veio por mim, rolou um beijo. Eu que não queria, agora quero. Essa tua picada tem veneno. Oh, na, na, na. Quando olhas pra mim assim, não aguento nem. Quando olhas pra mim assim, aumenta a tensão. Quem te mandou usar esse perfume? Quem te mandou fazer isso comigo? Quem te mandou usar esse perfume? Quem te mandou fazer isso comigo? Combinamos não se tocasse que eu já tô bababué. Tipo um bebê, não precisa babeter. Combinamos não se tocasse que eu já tô bababué. Tipo um bebê, não precisa babeter. Você veio com intenção, caí na tentação. Oh, oh, oh. Isso é pura sedução. Batoteira, yeah, yeah. Batoteira, oh, oh. Batoteira. André, yeah.
Just 14 minutes to go before we head to the top of the hour. Some music from Angola, Landrick with Babete. And Angola, they celebrated 50 years, their centenary last week, their 50th anniversary. Wow, Ntsako. Independence. Wow, Ntsako. Wow. It is 13:46 Central African time. Welcome back to The Upside with me, Ntsako Mhlanga, standing in for my Earth Angels, Mateko and Debucho. And I'm hoping that they're having a lovely time. But what's nice is that we pass on the crown. And this time around, we're going to talk about an amazing partnership from plantation to plate. Malaysia's palm oil story inspires a greener culinary future. We are going to be diving to speaking to Alsu Gericke, who is the head of education at the South African Chefs Association, who is working closely with chefs, schools, and training institutions across the country, shaping the future of culinary standards and innovation. And right now, we're looking at a partnership with Malaysia, which is one of the global leaders in sustainably produced palm oil. And their transformation is influencing how chefs think about ingredients. Alsu, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Love, love, love your energy. Love it. Obsessed. Obsessed. I want your food now. Like, I don't even need to continue. We just need to have whatever's on your plates, because if this is who you are...
I just had the best fish and chips. The best fish and chips ever. So delish. So you're welcome to come anytime.
No, you just inspired me now. I'm literally trying to have like an energy here and like a few snacks because I don't want to eat on the job. I'll get like, I'll get very tired. But let's get right into it. I mean, this is an amazing, a palm oil story. When we think about the oil industry, we think about some of the mafias that own it. We don't necessarily think of countries like Malaysia who are, kind of dominating and are making sure that they are, being powerhouses in the production of palm oil. Talk to us about that.
So yes, absolutely. And I mean, everybody knows palm oil has always been the sort of the bad boy, the person that's killing orangutans and deforestation and all the bad stories around palm oil have been floating around. And Malaysia has really put in years, decades of work in changing that narrative. Because palm oil is in everything. It's in our cleaning supplies, in our food, in our skincare products. It's basically in everything. And Malaysia's really taken the forefront into creating sustainable palm oil to be used in these ingredients. It's not about only the palm oil that we use and we just take anything anymore. It's about responsibility. And Malaysia has really taken the foreground of that, with 90% of their palm oil produced in Malaysia being certified sustainable at this point, and growing, which is an incredible feat. It's incredible. So it's been a great partnership with SA Chefs and Malaysian Palm Oil, and me, head of education. It always starts with education for me, and making sure people know what they are using, what they're putting in their food, what they're putting in their customers' food, and what they're putting in their bodies.
Why is
So
that?
that's the gist of it.
Yeah. And why is that? Why is it important for us to know, and specifically not necessarily the consumers, but the people working with the ingredients, the chefs, the scholars? Why is it important for them to know what's in, the foods that we are eating, the products that we use as well?
Because it all boils down to and cooks and people in the food industry. And this goes to consumers as well. It's not just about creating tasty food. It's not just about making money if you're talking industry. It really is also about nutrition. Because a healthy country is a forward-moving country. And we need to have palm oil or healthy ingredients in all our restaurants, not only in the fine dining ones in Sandton or Saxon World or Camps Bay, but as far deep as our feeding schemes in Alex and in Tembisa and those places where we need to ensure that what our kids and what our people are putting into their bodies are at least beneficial and not detrimental to their health. It is a big story. It's bigger stories around it, with people and school kids not getting healthy, being falling ill. So making sure that people are educated on what they're using and how they're using and how this could be beneficial to people is really what the Malaysian Palm Oil Council and the whole of Malaysia and the palm oil industry, together now with SA Chefs, was trying to bring across to our chefs in the kitchen, making sure it is important. Because we don't just want to give you pleasure in cooking delicious food. It must also make sense from a health point of view.
Yeah. And what's really beautiful to see, and I think it's also the rise of social media and, people kind of interacting with their products. We've seen that consumer education is more important now. People are more conscious of what they use. Why is it important now, especially for the consumer, to know and make good decisions about the palm-based products that they're choosing to consume?
Because there is huge deforestation, there is huge impacts on our environment. There's a lot of us on this planet. So it is up to the consumer to read the labels. If we're looking for something healthier, something sustainable, and when we speak sustainability and healthier, it's not necessarily only about deforestation and the animals, and it's also the people and the renewable, the transformation, the moving forward. So it's personal or people sustainability, food sustainability. So reading the label from a consumer point of view is extremely important in making the right choices, because there are bad products out there, or products from places that are not using sustainable practices. So you must make the right choice for not only your business, but your family and for your future. And that comes down to reading the label and getting educated. We have enough information being fed to us all the time through social media, like you said. So we need to be able to discern what is that of that is true, what isn't, and how do I implement that in my life.
Yeah.
And the consumer, like anybody else, is very conscious of about that right now. So that's why these kinds of programs are so important for sustainability on the global market.
And are we paying attention to our ethical sourcing? We're paying attention to more climate conscious consumerism. We're paying attention to biodiversity. How is this going to transform the African culinary industry?
But you see, this is really where we're going back now to our roots, our literal roots, and how we can't produce everything in South Africa. But we as South Africans are actually very good at using produce that isn't overly processed. We eat and grow our own food quite often.
Yeah.
We have fertile soil for it. So when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, you also now, when you are putting or whatever on your table, make sure that you are frying it in something that is also sustainable. And that is really moving the industry forward. COVID has changed how the culinary industry in South Africa is evolving more.
Also,
So that's where we're going. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I was saying that you're actually tugging onto my heartstrings there because I grow onion, green pepper, the red peppers, and I'm looking into rosemary, thyme, and parsley now. And, you know,
wow.
when you said that we need to also, whenever we grow our vegetables, fried in something that is also sustainable, I think that was, it kind of brought it back to a human experience on a day-to-day basis. Because when we see this, we see it from a production point of view, from a manufacturing point of view. So we can't necessarily place ourselves as individuals in that process, which is quite interesting. And to those young chefs who are listening to you right now and trying to make sustainable choices in their kitchens, what would you say to them?
I would say carry on and teach each other. The Gen Z, is it Z? Gen Z, our young generation,
Yeah.
are an incredible generation. They are going to change the way everything works. They are health conscious, they are buying conscious, they are sustainable conscious. And for them, I say, keep doing what you're doing, make the right choices and keep learning and reading and make your own choices. Don't just stand and take whoever says it, that's not a fact. Go and research and read about it. And then make sure that you read the food labels so that what you are putting in your food has been certifiably sustainable.
Amazing stuff. Elsie, thank you so much for joining us today. And that fish and chips, you've inspired me. I think I know what's for dinner today.
It's also because you're hungry, but absolutely. But remember to fry it in palm oil.
1,000%.
So that you also get the benefits of that.
Right. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Thank
Bye.
you. Elsie Gerika there, who's the head of education at the South African Chefs Association. A beautiful one there, kind of like streamlining the value chain of our food, you know, especially those who are growing their food. I know that there are a lot of more people who are investing in that, you know, growing even some of the veggies that we should be buying. But, you know, you're growing your spring onion here, your peppers here, and then imagine you do that and then you fry it in something that is not biodegradable or not climate conscious. It kind of, you go backwards, you know, it's taking 10 steps forward and then like 20 back. So it's quite a nice and conscious way of being more intentional about what happens in the kitchen. 13:57 Central African time, 3 minutes to go before we head to the top of the hour. We're going to head to the second hour of the show. Also got a really cute book. I'm going to tell you guys why I got this book and why I'm telling you I got this book, because it's part of the conversation we're going to have in the second hour. But for now, let's enjoy a jammy jam right here on The Upside.
1, 2, 3, go. I need your loving, so fresh, so clean. Love me in and out, unfailingly, and I'll be down now. Anytime you call me, I'll be down.
love me judge, love me tender. You know you love turn me up like Nepa. Anything you want and I'ma do whatever. Because I love and I love and I love and I love you only. Because I need and I need and I need and I need you more. Yeah, you know I run and I run and I run and I run. Fly in the sky at night. Hold me in your arms and your love and your life. I'm on your wave right now. I'm on your wave right now. Yeah. I'm on your vibe now. You got me on your side now. Yeah, I'm on your wave right now. Yeah. Said love me judge, love me tender. Love me judge, love me tender. Said love me judge, love me tender. Love me judge, love me tender. You my sugar, my honey, my tender lover. You my sugar, my honey, my tender lover. You are my sugar, my honey, my tender lover.
It's our African favorite girl. It's Thames with Love Me JJ. It is 2 p.m. Central African time. It's time for news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Ntsako. Looking at your top stories, vote counting has gotten underway in Guinea, and Russia carries out a massive drone attack on the eastern city of Kharkiv. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. Vote counting has gotten underway in Guinea-Bissau following a presidential and legislative election. The incumbent president, Umaro Embalo, is in a tight contest to become the first leader in 3 decades to win a second consecutive term in the West African nation. The 53-year-old former army general is up against 11 other candidates. Analysts are predicting a close race in a runoff will be held if no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote. Laboratory of African and Post-Colonial Studies at Cheikh Anta Diop University in Dakar, Senegal, Professor Gogi Udieng explains.
Guinea-Bissau is, since its independence, 9 coups d'etats. That means that the country is not a stable one. So this election might lead to more stability and more democracy. But I believe that that will not be easy for the outgoing president. In Africa, in general, the days following elections are always marked by violence. Because I saw the voting yesterday, but and on the whole, it was a peaceful election. So the results can be considered to be fairly obtained by the winner or the loser, and the loser must accept.
The Gambia said it was temporarily hosting Cameroonian opposition leader Issa Chiroma Bakary on humanitarian grounds following a contested presidential election in Cameroon last month that led to deadly protests. Biya, 92 oldest head of state, was named winner of last month's election in Cameroon with 53.66% of the vote against 35.19% for Chiroma. Chiroma had declared himself winner before the official results were announced, and protests erupted in various locations as early results showed Biya in power since 1982 would secure an 8th term. In a statement, Gambia's Information Ministry said the country was sheltering Chiroma purely on humanitarian grounds. President of the European Union Ursula von der Leyen has kicked off the EU-African Union Summit in Angola's capital today. The 7th EU-AU Summit is being held under the theme Promoting Peace and Prosperity Through Effective Multilateralism. The summit, marking 25 years of EU-AU partnership as well as 50 years of independence for Angola and several other African countries, will be co-chaired by the President of Angola, João Lourenço, and the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa. Over the 2 days, leaders will participate in 2 thematic sessions to discuss how to strengthen cooperation in key areas of peace, security, governance and multilateralism, prosperity, people, migration and mobility. Leaders are expected to issue a joint declaration at the end of the summit. South Africa's political analyst Dr. Onga Mamtimka says the turmoil in the Umkhonto we Sizwe party reflects a deeper structural problem. In a statement, it comes as the party's deputy president and parliamentary leader, Dr. John Hlophe, remains on suspension pending an internal investigation into recent leadership disputes. Earlier this month, Hlophe made changes to the MK party caucus, removing Chief Whip Colin Makobele and replacing her with Des van Rooyen. But party leader Jacob Zuma reversed the changes and suspended Hlophe. Dr. Mtimka says the party is not independent from Zuma, who is its founder.
The other thing is that it was formed out of politics of vindictiveness. And I've argued that failure to transition from a vindictive movement or a movement that expresses the vindictiveness of the person of Jacob Zuma to becoming a political party with a clear political program is going to ensure that the party doesn't develop further to become sustainable and stand in its own right.
And lastly, Ukrainian officials say Russia has carried out a massive drone attack in the eastern city of Kharkiv, killing 4 people. More than a dozen others were wounded. The mayor says 15 strikes were recorded in 6 areas of the city. Kharkiv is close to the border and is frequently targeted by Moscow. Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine almost 4 years ago. Recapping on your top stories, vote counting has gotten underway in Guinea-Bissau following a presidential and legislative election. Incumbent President Mauro Embalo is in a tight contest to become the first leader in 3 decades to win a second consecutive term in the West African nation. Now, for any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Zinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective. The afternoon conversations continue on The Upside. Lifestyle, culture, and global changes. Right here on Channel Africa, The African Perspective.
It's just gone 6 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time, right here on The Upside with me, Ntsako Mhlanga. I'm holding it down for my Earth Angels, Mateko and Debucho. And we are going to be having a good time until 4 p.m. Central African time. And in this hour, we're going to be chatting a little bit more about... So I want us to gossip a little bit, like just for 2 seconds, guys. Like I'm breaking the fourth wall now. You know how when you watch the news or you listen to the news on Channel Africa, of course, and they use all these ridiculously big words. They use words like repo rate, market incline, words that are like, wow, if they didn't teach us this in English. And sometimes I get frustrated when we don't know how to just simplify jargon for the everyday person. I was talking to our technical operator, Untando, right? And we were debating about this. And we were talking about the fact that, first of all, if I were to go around and do a survey and ask everyone what the word repo in repo rate means, I don't think anyone would have an answer, right? But it's because repo rate has been used in a financial context that we kind of know what it means. When someone says repo rate, you know that this has to do with the interest rate or, how much our bond is going to cost, or, you can kind of associate it. So you base the definition on connotations. The one thing in my, should I say, teaching career, right? I call myself a glorified teacher, but also as a legal professional, guys. Make things simple for people to understand. When we talk about the repo rate, what does it actually mean? When we talk about how it affects our property markets and the bonds and the mortgage that we've taken out, what does that mean? That's what we're going to be ironing out for you today. This is because we don't want to exclude anyone from the conversation. You may feel like, no, but Ntsako, our mothers and grandmothers are not going to be buying houses, so why do they have to know? But guess who's going to be buying houses? You. And I can guarantee that you do not have as much time to watch the news and pay attention to what's happening on the news as they do. So why wouldn't you want them to be involved in the conversation? For them to know what it means when we talk about a repo rate. We're going to be simplifying the conversation for you. We're going to talk about the change in the financial markets and what does that mean for us, especially in the property market. I know that we've seen, beautifully so many engagements, so many people who are saying I do. And usually that comes with a decision to buy a house together. And it's very, very exciting. In fact, I wish you nothing but the best. But what does it mean now when repo rates are going up and down like a seesaw? We need to iron that out, okay? We need to make sure we realign your budget. On social media, we are Channel Africa 1. Address your questions there. Or on WhatsApp, +27634069126. Are you currently buying? Are you currently renting? And whenever you see the repo rate going up and down, how does that make you feel about where you currently live? Do you think it contributes to the insecurity of your home? Do you not feel as secure in your home because of that? Let me know. I'm interested with the hashtag The Upside. And it's just gone 2:10 Central African time. Welcome to the second stretch of The Upside.
Annika Longi sur Channel Africa.
Comment est-ce que les militants et sympathisants du parti Les Transformateurs ont-ils réagi face à la condamnation de Succès Masra?
La condamnation de Succès Masra ne nous a pas surpris et les militants transformateurs ont été bouleversés et indignés étant donné que le verdict est un verdict lourd, illégal, injuste et donc face à la répression dans laquelle le peuple tchadien est confronté, les militants transformateurs se sont résignés de ne pouvoir pas sortir manifester. Et donc, c'est une situation totalement absurde pour un pays. Et aujourd'hui, nous célébrons le 11 août, fête de l'indépendance. On pensait que le verdict allait être plus ou moins clément, mais le verdict est sévère.
Annika Longi, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
9 to 12 midday, Central African Time. On the Move with Balisa Tau and Benjamin Mushatama.
Now, when you go to the hospital, there's medical attention that you need, and that's the only experience you're expecting to have. If you are a transgender person, sometimes those experiences can be marred by the demand of trying to understand your gender, your sexuality, and not particularly getting the assistance that you need.
One time, I was sexually abused by someone who used to live next door to my house. So when I went to the police to report, I was in a weave, I was wearing a dress, and when I got there, the police person that helped me said to me, obviously we're gonna rape you because why do you walk around looking like trying to be a woman when you are a man? And after that, the person just walked scot-free.
How do you deal with that? Because there's a double barrel abuse there. So it's not even double barrels, there's kind of multi-dimensional forms of abuse.
I think one thing that I will tell you about trans people is we are strong, not because we want to be strong, but because we don't have an option. It is what it is. Because the struggles that we face each and every day are like unimaginable.
Keeping you on the know and on the move. Your afternoons just got even better, fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective.
Is it the that I don't give? Is it the man that I don't miss? Is the song why we get along? Or am I coming on a little strong? Is it the way this dress unzips? Is it the girls that I came with? Cause the more that they tell me don't, is the more that it turn me on. I can't leave, I can't leave. Leave you alone with your eyes on me, no. I can't leave, I can't leave. Dancing alone don't look right on me, yeah. I can't leave, I can't leave. Leave you alone with your eyes on me, no. I can't leave, I can't leave. Dancing alone don't look right on me. Is it wrong that I wanna get right? Wanna get right with you? Is it wrong that I wanna get right? Wanna get right? Is it the cup when it leaves my lips that got me thinking things like this? Like what it's like when you take me home, and what it's like when you take it off. Is it the ideas that I like, or do I really wanna make you mine? Or do we leave it all on the floor? Either way, I need a little more. I can't leave, I can't leave. Leave you alone with your eyes on me, no. I can't leave, I can't leave. Dancing alone don't look right on me, yeah. I can't leave, I can't leave. Leave you alone with your eyes on me, no. I can't leave, I can't leave.
My neighbor Tyler with Is It coming through there, and she's killing the game. I'm obsessed with her. So young, so talented, doing amazing stuff. It is 14:15 Central African time right here on The Upside with me, Ntsako Mhlanga, holding it down for my Earth Angels, Mateko and Tebucho. We've got an exciting day tomorrow. Our bosses walked in the studio and told me something so exciting. And I'm looking forward to it. So you guys do not want to miss out on tomorrow. I know I'm already not done with today, but I'm talking about tomorrow. But yeah, I'm trying to prepare you. I respect you that much, okay? Let's get into this conversation. So we're looking at the housing market. The repo rate cut, it has pushed the prime lending rate to 10.25%, which is at its lowest point in 2 years. You're probably wondering, what does this mean? How does this pertain to me and my home? Does it mean my home is secure? Let's get the answers to this. We are joined by Colin Schramper, who is the regional manager of Better Bond. Colin, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for joining us. So let's talk about this. I mean, what does the 25 basis points a cut mean for homeowners in rand terms?
Yeah, so in real rand terms, on a home loan of say around R1 million, you're not looking at a big massive change in your disposable income suddenly. It's probably about 160, 170 rand difference, on around R1 million. So double that for 2 million, and obviously as we go up in the millions. I think the reality is though that this has been a long time coming, and it has taken a long time to get us to this point from where we were a year ago. The change is more dramatic. That's more like a 700 rand change on a R1 million bond. So 1,400, 1,500 rand on 2 million rand, just as an example. So the 0.25% is great. It doesn't make a magnificent impact right now, but it's all those 0.25% in the last year and a half that has made a significant difference, including obviously optimism and sentiment. Clients feel very optimistic about the property market again.
And do you think this contributes to home security / insecurity? I mean, when you're seeing so many changes being made on national platform, I think one can't help but think, are we going to maintain our home? It kind of maybe catastrophize it a little bit. Of course, yes, it has to be announced in that way, but to a person who doesn't really have the understanding of what a repo rate and the effect on the property market, do you think that you guys now have to play a little bit of a better role in trying to communicate that to homeowners in the sense of home security or insecurity?
There's probably a bit of truth in that. I think origination has been in the market now for 25 years. I think we've played a significant role in getting the buyer and the seller more educated than they were probably 20, 30 years ago. So we're definitely at a better position than 25, 30 years ago, before origination even came into the market. But it's a continuous process. So education in property, the value of property, how property creates wealth, how property gets you into the next property and maybe an investment property, I think is a continuous thing we can talk about and try and help buyers and sellers out there understand. I think every role player has got a part to play, real estate, the financial institutions, and then obviously origination like us. And I think we've done quite a lot of work in that, but it's a continuous process, and we will continue doing that.
And for those who are hearing it for the first time or maybe wanting a better understanding, what exactly is your position within the property market as a origination?
So we're very positive. Interest rates where they are now, they sort of at before COVID levels. The market is definitely picking up from what we can see. So there's a lot more activity, and the reduction in interest rate from 11.75 to where we are now at 10.25 has played a significant role in that. Again, bringing in first-time buyers into the market where they can now see that they can obviously afford to buy something. So although the 0.25% has not maybe made a massive difference in this reduction now, as I said, the 1.5% in total that it's come down in the last year, 18 months, that's the actual real change. And suddenly, your affordability goes up. So a month ago or a year ago, what you couldn't afford, now, there's a bit more affordability.
Colin, may I ask
So
that
very
we...
positive.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, so very positive outlook from our side.
And that's a great one. I want us to hold on that. There's a couple of follow-up questions that I have for you. It's time for us to take an ad break. It is 20 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Let's take a quick break right here on The Upside.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the Upside.
It is 9 minutes to go before we find out what's happening in our sports and our econ, our money. But for now, also bringing you back to this conversation, we are joined on the line by Colin Schrumpfer, who is the regional manager at Better Bond. So let's talk about this, Colin. You were talking about we're doing better than ever. Do you think because of the buyer demand, now that we are doing better, now that it is positive, do you think the buyer demand is going to cause a house price increase? Do you think that people are going to now price their homes in a better position to kind of, act on that demand?
I think there is that will happen. So there is a element of that will happen in certain markets, in certain provinces, perhaps. Here in the Western Cape, definitely property prices have still been increasing due to demand. So although interest rates have been reasonably high in the last 12 months, there has still been quite a high demand for property. But then again, that also brings in your investor who maybe wants to buy a rental property or property to rent out. So there's certain parts of the country where that's definitely going to play a part. We have found, though, again, to the education part, that there are more and more buyers that are more educated in terms of what property values should be and what they're also prepared to pay. So, there is still quite a big focus on, especially in the real estate sector, to make sure that if you're a seller, that the property is priced correct for the market, because the buyers are far more educated than they were years ago, and they've got an idea of what property is worth and what it should be worth, so they're also not going to overpay. It's a little bit of a tricky market. Yes, demand is going to push up the price, but buyers are also saying we're only prepared to pay so much.
What about those who are sitting in the rental market, the buy-to-let market? What does this mean for them?
Yeah, so again, because of the demand, there is still a demand for buy-to-let. So if you're a buyer in the investment sector and you want to buy to invest, and so buy-to-let, there's still a big demand for that. Again, with semigration that happens in the Western Cape, we're also finding that quite a number of buyers will come down to the various parts of the Western Cape and wherever they might be semigrating to, Garden Route and so forth, and perhaps they rent for a year or two before they decide where in those areas they actually want to live, and then buy. So still very, very good demand for that, and the market's still quite stimulated.
And what is currently the standpoint of the banks? Are their appetites, getting a little bit looser? And I'm asking this because I'm trying to establish whether it is a good time for the first-time buyers. Is this like kind of our golden window for those who are saying, what, I'm taking the leap and I'm going to purchase my first property? Is this the right time? Do you think the banks are going to kind of let loose their appetite a little bit?
Yes, I think probably the last 6 months has probably been a good time to buy if you're a first-time buyer, because we are in a interest rate downward cycle. And speaking of that, interest rates should probably still go down a little bit more. So it's quite a favorable time to buy now. First-time buyers have definitely increased in numbers over the last 6 to 9 months. Yeah, definitely. But I think by about 30%. So there is a recovery in that as well. So it's good to see the first-time buyers back. High interest rates, 11.75, 11.5%, that held them back a little bit. It was just a bit too much.
And, anything that we can look forward to, expected repo trajectory for the next 6 to 12 months?
So, obviously we deal with and speak to a lot of economists as well. And the talk out there is that, we should probably be at about 10% interest rate now already, and maybe even for the last 3 to 4 months. So, although that didn't happen in September, we at least saw some reduction in that now. So considering that we should probably be at 10%, maybe even 9.75 for those who are a little bit more bullish. That does bode well for in the next 6 to 9 months, potential rate reductions of another 0.25% to 0.5%. And then there's some economists out there that are very bullish and very strong-willed about this and believe we should actually be at around 9%. So, if we can get anywhere near single figures of 9.75, even 10, that will already look a lot better than where we are now, and obviously where we were a year ago.
It's quite exciting because we also saw a decline in the unemployment rate. So there's more people employed. The interest rate is also working in our favor. We're going to see a lot more homeowners next year, I'm hoping. This is just a wish, We just hope that even the people that are getting employed are in a place where they can actually purchase a home.
Yeah, we hope so too. It is the property market is a stimulus for the market. It just unlocks so many aspects of the market in terms of buying and for municipalities, more rates and taxes. People living and buying near schools because they want their kids to go there, etc. So for us it's a market in the property sector that opens all the markets within our municipalities and obviously within our country.
100%. Colin, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anywhere we can find your organization and maybe get more information from you guys?
Yes, 100%. We are obviously, you can just Google us, betterbond.co.za. We are on the internet, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. You should be able to find us on all of those platforms.
Great stuff. It is Colin Stramper there, who is the regional manager of Better Bond. Thank you, Colin. It is 12:27 Central African time. We can squeeze in a jam before we get to our sports and our econ. And also let me know, are you going to be one of the people buying houses next year, guys? +27634069126. I'm really hoping so. I'm praying that every person who got employed this year can actually do that for themselves next year. So keep your credit in good standing, and trust me, you're going to see Amawaza. It is 14:28 Central African time right here on the upside. Kabuka Oriental with Soso coming through there. It is 2:30 Central African time. What's happening in our sports?
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
And a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Musibu Dimakura with your latest sports news at the Sawa. So Marco Jansen delivered a master class and fast bowling to take a 6 for 48 and propel India now to a meager 201 all out in reply of South Africa's 449 all out on the third day of the second test at the Basapara Stadium in the city of Guwahati on Monday morning. Now the tourists sensibly opted not to enforce the follow-on and batted again, adding 26 without any loss to their huge first innings lead of 288 runs for an overall lead of 314 runs. And with 2 days still to play, they appear now to be heading to a victory, and that would give them a 2-0 series win following their 13-run victory in the first test at Eden Gardens just last week. It was also Marco Jansen's fourth 5-wicket haul and came on the back of his career best 93 with the bat, also making the first test to be staged in Guwahati, an intensely memorable one for the brilliant all-rounder. So the action will resume tomorrow on day 4 of the second test at in Kolkata and not Eden Gardens. On to some football news now. Desiree Ellis, the head coach of South Africa's women's national football team, says she will use the upcoming international friendly match against Morocco to assess individual performances building up to the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament. So Ellis announced her 26-player squad, including 3 reserves, expected to assemble for camp this afternoon to prepare for their clash against the Atlas Lionesses taking place on the 2nd of December. Ellis says this is not only about the scoreline, as she also expects good performance from her team.
If you put up a good performance, you obviously get a positive result. We have a little bit more time, which is really helpful, because in the past couple of matches, you'd come to camp, leave, 2 days later you play. So there isn't much you can do. So there's a few things that we'll be obviously working on with having a lot of new players coming in, 10 players to be exact, in the 26, and of the 26, only 23 will be part of the matchday squad. But being at home, it gives us an opportunity to work on certain things.
Now, Ellis also adds that this upcoming clash will be a platform for some of the youngsters to raise their hands ahead of next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament. She goes on to explain her expectations of her young players.
The same with Bonolo, the same with Ndalwa on a regular basis. Casey's the goalkeeper of the under-20 national team, so they've regularly played in those competitions. So, we've had a look at them at the clubs as well. I mean, you look at Kwezi week in, week out. Unfortunate that Durban ladies got relegated, but you look at a week in, week out, bringing what she needs to bring. Bonolo, second highest goal scorer in the league, and hasn't even played a full season.
On to Formula One news now. Lewis Hamilton said he is not looking forward to the 2026 Formula One season after a difficult year continued with a tough Las Vegas Grand Prix this past weekend. Now, Britain's 7-time world champion qualified last for the race, the first time that it has happened on pure pace in his 19-year Formula One career. Now, the Ferrari driver swiftly worked his way up to the field to get into the points position, but he could not overtake the Sauber of Nico Hülkenberg on the medium tyre in the closing stages of the race. Having finished 10th, Hamilton's classification was later moved now up to 8th by virtue of the McLarens of Lando Norris, as well as Oscar Piastri being disqualified in that match for a technical, not match, but the race for a technical infringement. Meanwhile, Ferrari team principal Federic Vassa said he would consider Hamilton's comments after the team's debrief, noting they were made in the heat of the moment. And finally, in basketball news, James Harden set a Los Angeles Clippers record of 55 points in the team's 131-116 victory against the Charlotte Hornets over the weekend. The 36-year-old guard surpassed the previous Clippers record of 52 points in a game which was jointly held by Bob McAdoo as well as Charles Smith. Now, Harden's efforts helped the Clippers improve their record to 5 wins and 11 losses so far this season. Elsewhere in the
NBA over the weekend, Nikola Jokic put in a fine individual performance of his own, but the Serbians' 44 points could not prevent the Denver Nuggets losing 128-123 to the Sacramento Kings, who ended their 8-game losing streak in the process. Meanwhile, Detroit Pistons remain top of the Eastern Conference, having extended their winning run to 12 games, their best sequence since 2004, 129-116 victory against the Milwaukee Bucks. But the Washington Wizards slipped to their 14th consecutive defeat, losing 121-120 to the Chicago Bulls in the NBA this past weekend. And that's a wrap from the sports desk at the Sawa. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, remember to send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Alternatively, call us on +27 11714 4459. I'm back with the final sports update on the upside in the next hour. It's 14:36 p.m. Central African Time. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Channel Africa is evolving, and so are you. Stay connected wherever you are with our brand new website and mobile app. Stream your favorite shows, catch up on African news, culture, and conversations, all at your fingertips.
Africa is just a tap away.
Your world, your stories, now on the go.
Stay connected wherever you are.
Visit channelafrica.co.za or download the Channel Africa app today. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here.
14:37 Central African Time. Thank you so much, Musibuyi, for that sports bulletin. Now it's time for Econ.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Ntsako, and good afternoon. The South African Parliament's Standing Committee on Appropriations has written to Finance Minister Ntsako Mhlanga seeking clarity on the cost of hosting the G20 Leaders Summit. The committee's chairperson, Musi Maimane, says that the committee has a constitutional obligation to monitor public spending and ensure that public funds are used appropriately. The summit concluded yesterday with a joint declaration committing it to multilateral cooperation. Maimane says that South Africa's history of inflating procurement cost when hosting events of such magnitude is what prompted the action.
So the follow-up question then becomes, have you been able to spend within that envelope or beyond that envelope? Because the budget pronouncements need to remain integrous, because the last place you want to be as a budgeting process is to pronounce that you are going to spend 600 million rands on something, and then later you come back and you say it was over 1 billion rands or 2 billion rands, because what that means is that there's lack of integrity in the budgeting process.
And South Africa's Gauteng Roads and Transport Department has launched a provincial road maintenance activation system. The modern data-driven solution automates and optimizes the road repair process. The launch of the system is a departure from traditional and inefficient manual inspections. The aim is to improve safety and support businesses, including tourism and freight. The department's MEC is Gidiboni Diale Tlabela.
To ensure that we fix the roads, to ensure that we do service delivery, all we need to say to communities, now everybody must play their role. Change is painful. Let's eradicate lawlessness. It's going to be painful. You are going to want to litigate us as government, but we really need to build and grow our economy so that we are able to create jobs, we are able to deal with the inequalities, we are able to deal with poverty that we are faced with. So this is part of igniting our economy and making sure that all of us have opportunities.
And the European Investment Bank EIB is pledging more than $2.3 billion of financing for renewable energy projects on the African continent over the next 2 years. The projects will include hydroelectric, solar and wind power plants, as well as the expansion and upgrading of transmission and distribution facilities, adding that they will be backed by guarantees from the European Commission. Onto this now, Mozambique has awarded a 30-year concession to its state-owned companies, including national oil firm ENH, to construct and operate natural gas facilities at the port of Beira and in Hasoro. The initiative is a part of the country's efforts to develop its oil and gas reserves despite challenges posed by an Islamist-linked insurgency affecting projects like Total Energy's LNG plant. The concession will be managed through a special purpose vehicle involving various partners and covers a liquefied natural gas terminal, storage facilities and Rompco pipeline connecting to South Africa. The new infrastructure is intended to enhance LNG transportation from the Ruvambo Basin, support domestic gas supply and facilitate industrialization, according to the National Petroleum Regulator. And the U.S. Senator have urged the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and the Securities and Exchange Commission to investigate Meta platforms due to concerns over the company profiting from ads promoting scams and banned products. The senators called for immediate investigations and potential enforcement actions to reclaim profits and impose penalties if allegations are confirmed. A recent report indicated that Meta expected to generate approximately $16 billion or 10% of its 2024 revenue from illicit advertising, with internal documents suggesting significant earnings from scam ads. Meta, however, claimed a 58% reduction in user reports of scams over the past 18 months. A look at your financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 450. In Botswana, it's 13 bula 30. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shillings 66 cents. And in Zambia, it's 22 kwacha 93. The BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 40. Russia, it's 79 rubles 3. India, it's 89 rupees 60. China, it's 7 yuan 10. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 36 cents. $1 is trading at 76 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. A look at your commodities. Gold is trading at $4,068 and platinum at $1,515 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $62.39 a barrel. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapelo Mahabe.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge et Bina l'export depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Let the Upside transport you from Cape to Cairo every weekday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
14:44 Central African Time. Just 16 minutes to go before the top of the hour. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm joined by my fellow alumni. People don't actually know we went to the same high school, guys.
People do not know that.
We went to the same high school.
I think we should keep it as a secret.
Not anymore.
No, secret's out now. But it's an honor to sit across you so that we can find out what court Whose eye?
Right? So the reason why I'm also mentioning this is because one of the principles that we were taught back in high school, so Sfiso was in a grade above me, obviously, age can tell.
It's like I thought we were going well. We were doing well.
We are the sister school. That's literally what we do. There's a hashtag that I'm obsessed with right now. I was just scrolling through social media earlier today, and the hashtag who helped you rise? And I was like, okay, are we talking about bread here? What's going on?
Who helped you rise?
Who helped you rise?
It's a PG show, so yeah.
Sfiso!
You know what caught my eye?
When I catch you.
Do you know what caught my eye? So yeah, tell us what helped you rise? What?
Okay.
Teacher?
What helped me rise was actually my teachers back in high school. My teachers planted a dragon in me. There was one teacher in grade R already who had told me that if I'm in a career that doesn't involve speaking, then I'm deemed as useless. I'm not in my path. In grade R, guys.
Can you imagine how loud you were then?
Bro,
like, that means that you were
thinking.
talking every single day. That a teacher had to say, yeah, the only use for you, Ntsako, is behind the mic. That's I don't know, that's a bit tongue-in-cheek, bittersweet. I don't know how to take that, but...
No, Shave, she said it in good faith. And she said it as, at parents, like this child, the way that she talks, I mean, you have to put her in a career that, is regarding speaking. And when I think about my teachers at JP, they put me in public speaking, AP English, hence, the English is the way that it is right now.
Hear it.
It's very, yes, the English is very top of the nose. But my teachers really believed in the leader in me, and that's why even when I got announced as a prefect, these things were unexpected. So, I mean, they were expected. Like, what a shock.
Okay, enough bragging for today. But that's I think it's a proper testament, having witnessed your journey all the way up to just here and beyond. I really don't see you in any other space other than, in the spotlight, behind the mic, in everyone's ears, in everyone's faces.
That was tongue-in-cheek, but thank you.
No, genuinely. Like, I genuinely think that, it's the stars have aligned, and you also do come from like a family of speakers, so
Yeah, no, everyone yaps.
Exactly. Yappers.com.
Right. What about you? What caught your eye today?
So what caught my eye is one, how great was the G20 summit?
Brilliant.
I think Cyril Matamela, Ramaphosa, can't name you after the dessert that everybody names you as a pet name, but like I genuinely think that he really put Africa on the map, because this wasn't just the G20 summit for just South Africa, right. It was for Africa. They stood steadfast, all the world leaders standing right behind South Africa and Africa, backing them, having, even after Trump had said, oh no declaration is going to be signed without our presence, I mean, even the audacity of sending a junior delegate to come and collect the declaration in the last minutes of the summit, and Matamela's like, hey John, validate, and said, listen, you are breaching protocol. If you want this declaration that we have all agreed on, come fetch it at the Durka offices on Monday morning, And if that's not power,
it
Ntsako,
is. I think it's also submission though, because he submitted to. I think there was a lot of So the thing is, power, we see it as a very loud thing, right? And all our president did was submit to our policies. That's all he did. He just said, no, I'm just going to follow the rules.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm going to do,
Absolutely.
babe. I'm not going to exert my power onto you. I'm just going to follow the law. And what does the law say? And that is true power is submission.
And I mean, you can see the shift of power in the world,
Yeah.
And the fact that Africa, I mean, Ramaphosa was standing there and the president of the AU was right next to him, Speaking of which, actually, the AU has, and the AU, like in the next few days from, I think it's on the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not the 7th, it's from tomorrow, the 24th, 25th. So today, tomorrow, they'll be convening in Luanda, which is in Angola. Where, they'll just be speaking about the EU leaders summit. It's it's all about peace, and I'll read more about it. But like, it's a good segue from G20 to them having the European leaders and the African Union leaders at the back of G20 meeting again, and carrying the conversation forward, and I don't know, man. Uncle Sam, America, where are you? Where are you?
That's probably why he's an uncle, not a father. You know what's really interesting for me about the Angola decision is that Angola last week celebrated 50 years of independence, and the relationship between Angola and South Africa. And that's why I think this is such a beautiful marriage that's happening. So in 1976, when the Soweto uprising took place, 10,000 students went and protested against the use of Afrikaans as a teaching medium. They went into exile in Angola. So the fact that after the G20, the leaders are going to Angola 50 years later feels like it's like we refreshed our history. But like we refreshed our history in the best way. Like we literally said, history let's make it a beautiful thing, let's make it a positive thing.
Exactly. From us having them fight in our backyard to now having them sit across the table from us in our backyard and saying, okay, how do we take the world forward? I really think, there's a lot of growth that African leaders need, like there's still a lot of room for growth, but where we are right now, considering the odds and where the world is going, man, I'm still all for multilateralism.
I said it, and at least now with the G20 I'm able to say it. Cyril Ramaphosa, my favorite president. Top 3. Currently at number 1. He's a good host.
He's a good host. I reserve sharing my opinion. I think he's an amazing president. And it's not for me to rate, but I think he's definitely top 3 with me.
Top 3,
definitely.
Especially
top 3
for
with
this
me.
age. We needed someone for this age, like this, where we are now with tech, where we are now with policy development. We needed him. Top 3 in my books, guys, in my literature books at home, in my backyard. He is my favorite, not everyone, mine.
I think mine didn't live long enough for him to be president, but I definitely think if we were to, let's not be controversial, because like there's a lot of people who I would feel like would be so fitting. Your Chris Honeys, your Stephen Bantu Bikos, your Oliver Tambos, your, oh my goodness, the word, like there are so many people that fought for the struggle who I think would have made great leaders, but there's also a reason why they didn't make it, because of that same reason. There are massive threats. So, but for what we have, super grateful, the Buffalo, Cyril Matamela. Come on, come on.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say that they weren't going to be good contenders, the likes of Steve Biko, the likes of Chris Honey, God rest their souls. But I think the Africa now needs a bit of a private school, boy. It needs a private school. Hear me out, dude. In order to talk to the Saudi Arabians, in order to talk to the EU, the pretense, the Tunisians, come on, guys, it needs a bit of an English.
Yeah, fair enough.
It needs a bit of someone who's able to go to Alex and have a good time, but then being sent in 3 minutes later and also have a good time. To wear the jeans and the skip and have scoppers, but also wear a suit and negotiate. But you hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I'll
concede. Even though all those guys were academics, man. Like if you read their literature,
I'm not saying
and how they spoke.
I'm not saying academic. I'm saying relatability.
I think those guys are relatable
to us.
Think about it.
To us.
To us.
No, us as in the people of the land, not to the investors of the world. That's why I mentioned Saudi Arabia. I specifically mentioned them because of their introduction into BRICS as well.
Absolutely.
I'm intentionally mentioning the likes of China, India, Brazil. people,
man.
giants in this world.
And you saw how Modi was just tweeting. He was really
he was
like
having
the
a good
vlogger of the G20. You know,
he was having a good time.
Macron was out there. You know, making like you know what. All the G20 leaders, you know, the BRICS countries, you know, Lula was like, actually, South Africa, man, we did the thing, man. Like, we did the thing. Africa, we did the thing, you know.
Really
and, you know, there might have been one Western country that tried to disrespect Africa as a whole, but steadfast, that's leadership, guys. That's leadership.
And bullies never win. 14:54 Central African time. Let's squeeze in one more Jammy Jam before we head to the top of the hour right here on the Upside. Share your thoughts on WhatsApp +2763 406 9126.
The voice of the continent, now online, with all your sports fixtures, lifestyle, and more.
Baby, don't mind on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just say what you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like you. Baby, don't whine on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just say what you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like me. Trusted, approved and trusted. Trusted, approved and trusted. Oh, please believe. Trusted, approved and trusted. Trusted, approved and trusted. In the middle of all of these beautiful girls in the world where they dance on the floor. I stayed on mine and not to bend them. Me, I just want some for the center. Baby, gyrate, your waistline. Roll it down, no slow down. Just bring them to me now. Submit down, no teasing, yeah. Baby, don't whine on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just they watch you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like me. One jazzy, the way you do fantastic. Have to put on glasses. Make you no blind me with this your body. When I see you whining for the wall, make me want to turn into the wall. Make me feel like we know they for real life. Everything nice where you are. Baby, don't whine on your seat, come give me that. Jump up on my body like animal. Dance make you feel like carnival. I go lock you down like criminal. One touch feeling like 1 million. People just they watch you like a cinema. Wine bandit thing like carnival. Make sure you do nobody else like me. Trusted, approved and trusted. Trusted, approved and trusted. Oh, please believe. Trusted, approved and trusted. Trusted, approved and trusted.
Burna Boy with tested, approved, and trusted, and we can trust South Africa to host anything. Bo, 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 bo. And guys, we've proved it. World Cup. Look at what we did. Look now, G20, so we can have fun, play soccer. Look at Cape Town being awarded best city in the world, so we can groove with you, and we can talk politics. Please, why does South Africa sound like an African woman? Jack of all trades. perfection at its best. Just 1 minute to go before we head to the top of the hour to find out what's happening in our news. And can't wait to share your thoughts on WhatsApp +27634069126 or at Channel Africa 1. I think I'm a proud citizen today. Citizen of the African continent. I think I'm proud of how we stood with each other. I'm proud of who we are. I'm proud of being an African. Like, now being an African is actually, yeah, like you have these shoulder blades now, you know? It feels like that. We're able to walk tall because we've got so much to show for it. So shout out to our leaders. And guys, don't lose the momentum. Keep it going. Keep it flowing, please. It is at 3 p.m. Central African time. It's time for our final bulletin for the day. Onela, what's going on? Girl in our news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Well, thank you, Ntsako. Looking at your top stories, South Africa and the U.S. handover of the G20 presidency to be a low-key affair, and negotiations on deal to end the war in Ukraine continuing. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. The Sherpa of South Africa's G20 presidency and the Director General of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Zane Dango, says both South Africa and the United States want the handover of the G20 presidency to be a low-key affair. It will be probably done by a senior official from DECO to a U.S. diplomatic representative at the department's offices in Pretoria tomorrow. South Africa had made it clear on Saturday that the U.S. could not send its embassy charge d'affaires, which is a relatively low-level appointee, to receive the presidency gavel from President Cyril Ramaphosa at the summit. Now, meanwhile, President of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, has kicked off the EU-African Union Summit in Angola's capital today. The 7th EU-AU Summit is being held under the theme Promoting Peace and Prosperity Through Effective Multilateralism. The summit, marking 25 years of EU-AU partnership as well as 50 years of independence for Angola and several other African countries, will be co-chaired by the President of Angola, João Lourenço, and the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa. Over the 2 days, leaders will participate in 2 thematic sessions to discuss how to strengthen cooperation in key areas of peace, security, governance, prosperity, people, migration, and mobility. Leaders are expected to issue a joint declaration at the end of the summit. Gambia said it was temporarily hosting Cameroonian opposition leader Issa Bakary on humanitarian grounds following a contested presidential election in Cameroon last month that led to deadly protests. Paul Biya, at the age of 92, is the oldest head of state and was named winner of last month's election in Cameroon with 53.66% of the vote against the 35.19% for Chiroma. Chiroma had declared himself winner before the official results were announced, and protests erupted in various locations as early results showed Biya, in power since 1982, would secure an 8th term. In a statement, Gambia's information ministry said the country was sheltering Chiroma purely on humanitarian grounds. As South Africa observes the start of 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children tomorrow, civil society movements say there needs to be a clear plan for action, preventative measures and strategies amid gender-based violence and femicide being classified a national disaster. Government officially classified GBVF a national disaster last week following growing protests. Although some activists have questioned the timing of the announcement, others are happy about the declaration. The movement believes healthcare systems and facilities will need to be funded. Some activists believe a change of behavior is also required.
So you cannot take it back. Now it's enough of we are a national crisis, we are speaking, now it's time for action.
The existing national strategic plan on gender-based violence and femicide that was drafted in 2019 needs to be revisited. So since the plan was drafted, we have surely seen an increased number of women and children being violated, murdered, abused, raped.
Lastly, negotiations on a deal to end war in Ukraine are continuing after Washington and Kyiv reported progress in talks yesterday. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said there were just a couple of issues still to be resolved, though he and other key actors have now left Geneva. The Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Tanka says there are some points Ukraine can't promise on.
Russia will remain an aggressive country. And as well, if we are talking about the security guarantees, these security guarantees must follow the Article 5 principle as well. We cannot take down from the table the opportunity for the future membership of NATO for Ukraine. This is our regional and also European security. So there cannot be any kind of deals without Europe and Ukraine about us. It's very clear.
Recapping on your top story is the Sherpa of South Africa's G20 presidency and Director General of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Zane Dango, says both South Africa and the United States want the handover of the G20 presidency to be a low-key affair. Channel Africa News, I am Only Tsinsi.
SABC News. The African perspective. Time to stay informed, inspired, and connected to the ideas driving Africa forward. The Upside on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
After 3 p.m. Central African time, we are in the finale of The Upside with me, Ntsako Mhlanga. I'm taking care of the show on behalf of my angels, Mateko and Debucho. And they've asked me so gently to hold things down while we usher you into a Monday afternoon. How are you doing? Probably if you knock off at 4 p.m., you've got about 54 minutes before your regards are no longer kind. Now you can just say regards, not kind or sincerely. Or just say thanks. If you're still being kind right now, then I think you're suited for presidency. You have the patience for it. What's coming up? We have a spotlight in this hour, and our spotlight is going to an amazing young woman by the name of Ntsako Mhlanga, who is the CEO of Conversation Strategists. And we're talking about the future of African storytelling, leadership conversations, and public discourse. And Ntsako found a very interesting way to talk about gender-based violence last week. For those who don't know, in South Africa, we decided to, a majority of us decided to change our profile pictures to be purple and protest against the gender-based violence and femicide crisis we have in South Africa. And a lot of the women decided that, for those who had maybe speaking engagements, they were going to show up wearing black or purple. For the women who were protesting, or the people who were protesting, there was a protest where people lied on the ground for about 15 minutes in honor of those who have lost their lives to gender-based violence and femicide. And Ntsako decided that she was going to show up in a purple suit and represent women in positions that maybe not a lot of women find themselves, and talk about the issues that we have. So we're going to be putting a spotlight on her. She's also an author, and we're going to find out a little bit more about her role in this world. There was a funny thread that was happening a couple of years ago. Is what's your contribution to society? And I think some of us took it a little bit seriously. Some of us, made sure that we are not going to just be here. We're not going to just be a number or a consensus, for citizenship. No, we are actually showing up to the party. Who are we in this global economy, in this global world that we live in this? How do we show up essentially in the world? When people say your name, what do they think about? Do they think about change? Do they think about growth? Do they think about impact or innovation? Or they just like, that one. You don't want to be known for that. You don't want to be known as the person and be like, that one, vele. No, what are we doing to add name and weight behind your name? And maybe one day you'll be featured on the Spotlight Mondays right here on The Upside. On social media, we are at Channel Africa 1 and WhatsApp a +27634069126. We're going to be shining a spotlight on a young woman. And also we're entering our, in South Africa, we celebrate 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and femicide, GBVF. So it used to be GBV. Funny enough. And then femicide now, due to statistics, every 15 minutes a woman is unalived, murdered in South Africa. Every 15 minutes. And it was thus then brought to the attention of the policymakers that you cannot have gender-based violence without femicide, because the gender-based violence ultimately leads to that. So now that's what we sit with, GBVF. We're going to talk about the women who are making a great impact. On social media, we are at Channel Africa 1. It is 10 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to the finale of The Upside.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, manusura, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800-428-428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV, ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Leo tujadili kuhusu chipukizi wanaoimba nyimbo za wasanii wengine. Unadhani hili linatokana na nini, Omari?
Nadhani kweli kwamba tukizama muziki ya sasa, hasa wasanii ambao ni chipukizi, kwa kweli kwamba yani karibu kutoka muziki wao wenyewe, lakini wanakuwa wanataka kuhubiria muziki ya zamani hizo muziki ya wengine ambao tayari ni taimbo.
Wengine wanadai kufanya hivyo ni kupromote vipaji vyao haraka ili waweze kujulikana. Je, yawezekana kukawa na ukweli wowote au ndio kukosa kabisa kipaji cha kuandika mistari?
Ndio, unaona kwamba msanii anapoazimia kwamba kuchukua wimbo mwingine wa msanii mwingine na kurudia mara mbili studio, haionyeshi kwamba yani ndio wanaanza kazi ya muziki aizani, lakini ukiangalia kabisa asilimia kubwa utakuta kwamba wanakosa ile mawazo ya kutunga muziki.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
We ain't even got a track on it. I got many blessings, I could brag on it. I've been through the fire, I could talk on it. And I heard it on the street that they got love for me.
Oh, show Baba. Now Baba gonna make me come and swag on. Them they bad to me anytime when the song's on. Them they see the light they shining, them they run come.
Now you see, say we there on the city. I don't think that any one of you can step to titty. I just wanna sing the song. Break it down, oh yeah, shake it to the
Gaga, yeah. Baba God don't bless us. Now why we they talk this matter, eh? Some people want to pull me down, I still they walk, eh?
No be say them say, no they to like say you know no. No be say them say, my brother.
Oh yeah, Joe for me, I do bear for no. And but it's okay, I do bear for no. Oh yeah, go mole, I do bear for no. Check out Jones okay. If I start to talk,
the thing where I don't take my eyes, see we no going. My brother, we no going. If I start to count, the thing where my back on it don't do, we no going. My sister, we no going. If I start to talk, the thing where my back on it don't do, we no going.
My sister,
we no going. If I start up anything, lift the bill for me. When the sun comes on, know your job for me.
No follow them, they complain. Make you no forget, say Baba God day. Every day is a good day. Holiday from Monday to Sunday.
Oya kumole, oya kwesoke, oya pate, what show them problem no day. See my life today, blessings every day. And they shine so bright.
It they make them they wonder why we they so composed. Anything we do, we they in control. Anywhere we go, then they won't follow. And anything we touch, we they turn to gold. Oh yeah, joke for me, I do bear for one. And go on, it's okay, I do bear for one. Oh yeah, go mole, I do bear for one. Like a Jones, okay.
Brother, if I start to talk, the thing where I don't take my eyes, see we no going. My brother, we no going. If I start to count, the thing where my back on it don't do, we no going. My sister, we no going. If I start to talk, the thing where my back on it don't do, we no going.
My sister, we no going.
If I start to count all the blessings Baba gonna keep me, we no going. My brother, he no going. When money no day, every day busy. Friends they come and go, but you no leave me alone. Waiting my never see, waiting my never see, waiting my never hear, waiting my never hear. You are take survive, you are take survive. Papa, you always there, you always there. If I start to talk, the thing with Baba God, it don't do it, no go in. My sister, we no go in. If I start to count all the blessings Baba God, they keep me, we no go in. My brother, he no go in. Oh yeah.
Wake up with gratitude, hope, and the African spirit. Channel Africa, now easier to access than ever before. WhatsApp us on +27 63 406 9126. The Morning Switch Weekend with the Shy Guy.
The story that takes us to Zambia. There are two men actually that were sentenced to prison for the plot to kill the president with witchcraft. You go like, what? So these guys were arrested actually in Lusaka. What we found on them was a live chameleon. Can you believe that? Animal tails and bottles of concoction. That law takes us back to 1914, which is the Witchcraft Act. I can imagine now arrested and they go to jail for the next 2 years. You know, I presume that when you get to jail, they get to ask you actually, what is it that you committed? Now, this is the first of its kind, by the way, for somebody to be arrested for such. They in Pemba, whenever they pass, hey, Chikanga, hey, Uloya, hey, Mulosi. And imagine here I am in these early hours of the mornings, I get to talk about witchcraft.
Saturday and Sunday mornings belong to the Morning Switch. 3 to 6 a.m. Central African Time. This is The Upside for the best African vibes. Groundbreaking content.
18 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time, right here on The Upside. We are in the finale of The Upside, and I'm hoping you're having a lovely afternoon so far. Or is the Mondaying? Let me know on WhatsApp, +276 406 9126. And, you know, it's that funny time of the year where you're looking at your CV, you're looking at your Instagram, you're looking at your profile, and you're like, hey, did I do something meaningful this year? Did I make an impact, the impact that I wanted to make, or did I kind of just meander through my work? You know, what did I do this year that created impact? Maybe you're someone who just made sure that their colleagues were super happy. That's also very impactful. I think when we think about changing the world, we think too far about it. We think too broadly about it as well. And I want us to have a little bit more of a holistic view on the impact that we make in our communities. You could be someone who makes sure that they motivate people to go to the gym. Maybe you posting on social media every day just motivates people to go to the gym. And that is a significant impact. You know, you might find someone has lost weight and has prevented health diseases just because of what you do on social media. So, you know, don't look too far for the impact that you create, okay? Don't think too broadly about the impact that you create. You might find that you're doing quite a lot within your intimate community already. On social media, we are at Channel Africa 1, and I'm looking forward to seeing the type of impact you guys are making in your communities. We're going to be talking to Ntsako Mhlanga, and she's currently in Nairobi. We're going to find a little bit more about her career, and also how she represented women last week in our shutdown. There was a national shutdown that took place in South Africa to honor all the women who have passed away and have left us due to GBV, gender-based violence and femicide. And it's important for us to have these robust conversations, because how are we alleviating this problem? Are we educating our young men, or are we teaching our girls to be more safe? We need to know more about that. Ntsako Mhlanga is going to be joining us in just a bit, but for now it is a 15:20 Central African time. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues right here on The Upside.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Mozambique's opposition leader Ntsako Mhlanga has been charged with incitement to terrorism and disobedience. He faces a total of 5 charges. The charges relate to post-election violence that left hundreds of people dead. What punishment is he looking at?
The most severe charges are 2. One is incitement for terrorism, and also is being charged for mobilizing people for terrorism during the protests. These charges are really serious and severe. If he is condemned, is found guilty, he could serve 10 years plus years in jail, meaning that he would be banned from political participation, mainly for the 2028 and 2029 electoral cycle.
The director of CDD, the Center for Democracy and Development, Adriano Novunga.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. With gratitude for the voices, the rhythm, and the dreams that unite us all.
Roho ya Afrika inaishi katika kila hadithi tunayosimulia.
Each new day is a gift, a reminder to pause, to breathe, and to give thanks for the laughter we share and the journeys we take, and the stories that shape who we are.
Cada nascer do sol, lembre-te algo pelo qual ser grato. La vie est un voyage, parcourons-la avec gratitude.
Channel Africa, celebrate the beauty of life with gratitude for the voices, the rhythms, and the dreams that unite us all. This is Africa with Channel Africa, the African perspective. Stay tuned to Channel Africa. Stream us on our new and updated website, channelafrica.co.za.
Amanda Mo, all the way from Eswatini with Nhlanyisa Nguwe. And what drives me nuts is amazing women who are doing the absolute most in our society. It is a 15:25 Central African time for our spotlight this beautiful Monday. We have Ntsako Mhlanga, who is the CEO of Conversation Strategists. Ntsako, my girl, how are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope that I'm audible. I'm in a remote location, so hopefully you can hear me well.
We can hear you loud and clear. And of course, you are known for moderating high-level conversations across business, policy, economics, and social issues. And you create spaces where clarity, nuance, and insight meet. Talk to us about your amazing career, Ntsako.
Thank you so much. So, the space of conversation strategy, I think, is probably one of the most forgotten and maybe even unknown areas in which we can impact the societies that we want to create and the societies that we dream about. Our fundamental belief is that conversation is a science and it's also an art form, and more than anything else, it's a strategic tool. And that when we understand how to leverage conversations, we're able to reframe important questions that lead to outcomes that really help us to build the societies that we want. And that's the reason why we get up every day, not just because we're passionate about conversation, but because we are passionate about amplifying it and giving it more visibility as a strategic tool.
And you have, been in rooms and moderated rooms with heads of state, CEOs, economics, and civil society, makers. What makes a conversation work, and what makes it fall apart?
I think that's such an incredible question, because I think one of the things that oftentimes just assume anybody and everybody can have a conversation. And when we do see conversations in the professional space, we oftentimes just reduce it to, the moderator, or even just an MC or program director. And we forget that there's an elevated form of using these conversations where you are really, really able but to understand which conversations are important, why are they important, and why they're important now, which voices you've got to bring into those conversations, and why these voices and why they matter now. And then, of course, which questions need to be put into the arena so that they can be engaged with and grappled with, and what are the how do we track the outcomes of that? How do we know if a conversation is not just a talk shop, or whether it is regurgitation of a conversation we've been having for a very long time? And so when we walk in with these questions already in our mind, we can separate what I would describe as performative conversations and consequential conversations. And we know performative conversations, we've seen them. These are the ones where you walk in and perhaps the decor is perfect, perhaps the famous most people are on the stage, perhaps all the protocol has been observed. But honestly, if you reflect as you leave the room, what's changed, what's moved, what's different yourself, even outside of big changes that one would expect to be manifested in policy or business models, you are not moved to differently, to act differently. And those for me would definitely be in the bucket of performative conversations. And on the other end of the spectrum, which is where I think we need to be going and being pursuing, is in the consequential conversational space, where you walk into a conversation and at a primary level, at a micro level, you yourself are walking out maybe with your mindset shifted, with maybe your beliefs being tested, and maybe you yourself being confronted, so that you're beginning not only to think differently, but hopefully to act differently because of what you've heard in the conversation. And if we think about the individual as a micro unit, and the possibility that when those micro units are all activated, perhaps then we begin to see a shift in how businesses are structured and how they operate, and to see a shift in the governance of how we hold ourselves accountable, ourselves and to the people that we lead. And that for me is really the difference between a performative and a consequential conversation, and being obsessed about knowing the difference, but then pursuing the consequential is something that's very important to us.
Ntsako, thank you so much for your insights today. Definitely not going to be a stranger in future to Channel Africa. And congrats on being our spotlight for this Monday, girl.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Amazing stuff. And Ntsako Mhlanga, who's the CEO of Conversation Strategist, coming through there. It is 15:30 Central African time. What's happening in our sports, Musibudi?
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Ntsako, thank you so much. This is what's happening. This is what we're leading with this hour. In case you missed it, so Morocco's AS FAR reclaimed the top spot in African women's club football. This by winning the Confederation of African Football Women's Champions League title over the weekend. So the team edged Ivorian side ASEC Mimosas by 2-1 in a fiercely contested final at the Suez Canal Stadium in Ismailia, Egypt. The victory also marks a significant achievement as for AS FAR, reinforcing, of course, their status among the continent's elite women's football clubs, and also highlighting the growing investment as well as the recognition in African women's football. AS FAR, of course, are now 2-time champions of the CAF Women's Champions League. We'll stay with women's football news. Desiree Ellis, the head coach of the South African women's national football team, Banyana, says she will use the upcoming international friendly match against Morocco to assess individual performances, also building up to the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Ellis announced her 26-player squad, including 3 reserves, expected to assemble for camp this afternoon, in preparation, of course, for that clash against the Atlas Lionesses that has taken place on the 2nd of December. Ellis says that it is not only about the scoreline, as she will expect a good performance from her charges.
If you put up a good performance, you obviously get a positive result. We have a little bit more time, which is really helpful, because in the past couple of matches, you'd come to camp, leave, 2 days later you play. So there isn't much you can do. So there's a few things that we'll be obviously working on, with having a lot of new players coming in, 10 players to be exact, in the 26, and of the 26, only 23 will be part of the matchday squad. But being at home, it gives us an opportunity to work on certain things.
Ellis also adds that this upcoming clash will also be a platform for some of the youngsters to raise their hands ahead of next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament. She explains what she expects from her youngsters.
The same with Bonolo, the same with Mdalwa on a regular basis. Casey's the goalkeeper of the under-20 national team, so they've regularly played in those competitions. So, we've had a look at them at the clubs as well. I mean, you look at Kwezi week in, week out. Unfortunate that Durban ladies got relegated, but you look at a week in, week out, bringing what she needs to bring. Bonolo, second highest goal scorer in the league, and hasn't even played a full season.
All right, so Banyana are expected to leave for Morocco this upcoming weekend. Marco Jansen, meanwhile, delivered a masterclass in fast bowling to take 6 for 48 and propel India to a meagre 201 all out in reply to South Africa's 489 all out on the third day of the second test earlier on today in Guwahati. Now, the tourists sensibly opted not to enforce the follow-on and then batted again, adding 26 without any loss to their huge first innings lead of 288 runs for an overall lead of 314 runs, and with 2 more days still to play, appear the Proteas to be heading to a victory, which would then see them seal the 2-0 series victory following their 30-run victory in the first test at Eden Gardens just last week. It was Jansen's 4th 5-wicket haul and also came on the back of his career 93, with the bat also making the first test to be staged in Guwahati, an intensely memorable one for the brilliant all-rounder, having contributed with both bat as well as ball. Action will resume on day 4 tomorrow, with South Africa hoping to add more to their runs total. And finally, in case you missed it, Lewis Hamilton said he is not looking forward to the 2026 season in Formula One after a difficult year continued with a tough Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend for Ferrari. Now, Britain's 7-time world champions qualified last for the race, the first time that it has ever happened on pure pace in his 19-year Formula One career. The Ferrari driver swiftly worked his way up to the field to get into the points position, but he could only overtake or rather not overtake Salby of Nico Hülkenberg on the medium tyre in the closing stages of that race. Having finished in 10th, Hamilton's classification was later moved up to 8th by virtue of the McLarens of Lando Norris, as well as Oscar Piastri being disqualified for a technical infringement. Meanwhile, Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur said they would also now consider Hamilton's comments only after the team debrief, noting they were made in the heat of the moment. And that's a wrap from the sports desk on this, on the upside, should I say. A final sporting update coming up in the next hour with the Africa in Business team. It's 15:36 p.m. Central African time. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, our email address is newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Give us a call as well on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. With gratitude for the voices, the rhythm, and the dreams that unite us all.
Roho ya Afrika inaishi katika kila hadithi tunayosimulia.
Each new day is a gift, a reminder to pause, to breathe, and to give thanks for the laughter we share and the journeys we take. The stories that shape who we are.
Cada nascer do sol, lembre-te algo pelo qual ser grato. La vie est un voyage, parcourons-la avec gratitude.
Channel Africa, celebrate the beauty of life with gratitude for the voices, the rhythms, and the dreams that unite us all. This is Africa with Channel Africa, the African perspective.
13:37 Central African time. Thank you so much, Musiburi. We'll catch you again tomorrow, darling. But for now, what's happening in our business? What's happening in our money? Matapela, what do you have for us?
Business news on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Thank you, Ntsako. Good afternoon. Starting off with the story, born of crisis but torn by years of tensions among its members, the group of 20 major economies scored a rare victory this weekend for multilateralism. This after they overcame the boycott and objections of its most powerful member, the United States. South Africa, this year's G20 president, rallied all but two member nations, the US and Argentina, to issue a declaration ignoring Washington's warnings and quelling questions about the G20's future. The White House accused South Africa of weaponizing its presidency to undermine the G20's founding principles of anonymous consensus. It said US President Donald Trump would restore its legitimacy while hosting next year. And South Africa's Gauteng Roads and Transport Department has launched a provincial road maintenance and activation system. The modern data-driven solution automates and optimizes the road repair process. The launch of the system is a departure from traditional and inefficient manual inspections. The aim is to improve safety and support businesses, including tourism and freight. The department's MEC is Gidiboni Diale Tlabela.
To ensure that we fix the roads, to ensure that we do service delivery. All we need to say to communities, now everybody must play their role. Change is painful. Let's eradicate lawlessness. It's going to be painful. You are going to want to litigate us as government, but we really need to build and grow our economy so that we are able to create jobs, we are able to deal with the inequalities, we are able to deal with poverty that we are faced with. So this is part of igniting our economy and making sure that all of us have opportunities.
And Mozambique has awarded a 30-year concession to its state-owned companies, including a national oil firm, ENH, to construct and operate natural gas facilities at the port of Beira and in Hasoro. The initiative is a part of the country's efforts to develop its oil and gas reserves despite challenges posed by an Islamist link insurgency affecting projects like Total Energy's LNG plant. The concession will be managed sourced through a special purpose vehicle involving various partners and covers a liquefied natural gas terminal, storage facilities and the Rompco pipeline connecting to South Africa. The new infrastructure is connected to enhance LNG transportation from Ruvuma Basin, support domestic gas supply and facilitate industrialization, according to the National Petroleum Regulator. Onto this now. The European Investment Bank EIB is pledging more than $2.3 billion of financing for renewable energy projects on the African continent over the next 2 years. The projects will include hydroelectric, solar and wind power plants, as well as the expansion and upgrading of transmissions and distribution facilities, adding that they will be backed by guarantees from the European Commission. And record numbers of Americans, as estimated at 186.9 million, are expected to shop during the Black Friday to Cyber Monday period, surpassing last year's 183.4 million. However, consumers are likely to reduce their spending due to fewer bargains amidst tariff impact. Despite an anticipated 3.7% to 4.2% increase in sales of the holiday season, this growth is slower than last year's 4.8%. Retailers benefiting from an extra day before Thanksgiving on the 27th of November are offering early promotions to stimulate purchases, with November and December sales projected to exceed $1 trillion for the first time. A look at your financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 450. In Botswana, it's 13 bula 30. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shillings 66. And in Zambia, it's a 22 kwacha 93. The BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 40. Russia, it's 79 rubles 3. India, it's 89 rupees 60. China, it's 70 rand 10. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 36 cents. $1 is trading at 76 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. A look at your commodities. Gold is trading at $4,070 and platinum at $1,528 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $62.42 a barrel. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapelo Mahape.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. 9 to 12 midday Central African Time. On the Move with Palisa Tau and Benjamin Mushatama.
Now, when you go to the hospital, there's medical attention that you need, and that's the only experience you're expecting to have. If you are a transgender person, sometimes those experiences can be marred by the demand of trying to understand your gender, your sexuality, and not particularly getting the assistance that you need.
One time, I was sexually abused by someone who used to live next door to my house. So when I went to the police to report, I was in a weave, I was wearing a dress, and when I got there, the police person that helped me said to me, obviously we're gonna rape you because why do you walk around looking like trying to be a woman when you are a man? And after that, the person just walked scot-free.
How do you deal with that? Because there's a double barrel abuse there. So it's not even double barrels, there's kind of multi-dimensional forms of abuse.
I think one thing that I will tell you about trans people is we are strong, not because we want to be strong, but because we don't have an option. It is what it is. Because the struggles that we face each and every day are like unimaginable.
Keeping you on the know and on the move. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Mozambique's opposition leader Ntsako Mhlanga has been charged with incitement to terrorism and disobedience. He faces a total of 5 charges. The charges relate to post-election violence that left hundreds of people dead. What punishment is he looking at?
The most severe charges are 2. One is incitement for terrorism, and also is being charged for mobilizing people for terrorism during the protests. These charges are really serious and severe. If he is condemned, is found guilty, he could serve 10 years plus years in jail, meaning that he would be banned from political participation, mainly for the 2028 and 2029 electoral cycle.
The director of CDD, the Center for Democracy and Development, Adriano Novunga.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
I'm sorry, my baby, ngicela uxolo. Ngikuxolele, my baby, you didn't mean it. Ngisathanda mna. I'm sorry, my baby, ngicela uxolo. I'm so sorry now. Ngikuxolele, my baby, you didn't mean it. Ngisathanda mna. Usabalele.
It is a 15:48 Central African Time. It's Gabza the Small featuring DJ Mapuris and Amifako with Abalele coming through there. And you're probably, with 12 minutes to go before you knock off, you're probably looking at the time like, yeah, I might just join those who are falling asleep. But please don't. You're almost there, right at the end of the day, I promise. It's one more kind regard before you get to the end of your day. I am joined by the amazing Tommy Guveni.
I feel like there needs to be a drum roll behind that, the way you've just announced that. Well, happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday.
And happy Monday to the entire continent. And a huge congratulations to Africa for successfully having launched the very first G20 Leaders Summit. It was quite an experience. As you know, we were broadcasting from there and really just the compliments coming through. But the most important thing about the G20 is the follow through. Let this not be just another talk shop. A lot of propositions, put in place, the declaration being adopted. So now let's see this declaration come to life and hope that as the presidency is now in the United States' hands, with South Africa now officially having ended its tenure, that there will be a continuation of that. But here's a look at what we've got in store for you today. We're going to be looking at some of the outcomes from the OECD Forum on Tax Administration, with international tax being very much in the center of that, and ensuring that tax collaboration is key, and in advancing joint initiatives aimed at easing compliance pressures on taxpayers, and also the strengthening of cross-border efforts to close those tax gaps. So we'll be looking very closely at that, and also continuation of discussions between Malawi and the IMF, with Malawi wanting to be reinstated within the IMF, and President Mutharika putting together his vision, the economic vision for the country, once again to mend those relationships. And also in our FNB feature today, we'll be looking at the producer inflation that's set to be released this week in South Africa, and could there be another acceleration there? And we'll also look at the private sector credit extension data and what that means for business in South Africa.
I can't wait for that one. I'm a woman in business, so the show is very important to me.
Yes, let's do this. Let's do this.
And I can't wait for that. It's taking place today from 4 o'clock, so you're going to be driving us home.
I'll be driving you home.
Yeah.
I'll be driving you. Hopefully the people that you're talking to, whom you said are half asleep, will be awake by then. So.
Oh, trust me, they will. Trust me. Once you involve people's money, trust me, they're not going to fall asleep.
That is bound to get our attention. I agree. So I'll be with you in the next 9 minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a 15:51. Thank you so much, Tammy, for that one. We can't wait for your show, and we look forward to it. It's been great, guys. I think we can squeeze in just one more, just for people to move a little bit before they close the laptops and declare every problem and every email a wrap. I used to do that in corporate a lot, hey?
As in at 4 o'clock, were you one of those at 4 o'clock you leave?
Absolutely.
Are you serious?
The moment 7 o'clock hit, I was on. So I made sure I was on the clock from 7. I worked an hour just before my allowed time, and I put it in. But for me, the boundary was family time is family time. And
that is so important.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can keep an equilibrium, because it can very easily just tilt to the other side.
And it's so easily. You can just answer one more call just after 4 o'clock, and all of a sudden now you're working until 6 p.m. So I used to be those people, yeah. And I don't regret it. I'm in business now where I'm working 24 hours, but I'm glad I had the boundaries when I did.
When you did, right?
Yeah, when I was allowed to have the boundaries.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Thank you so much. It is a 15:52 Central African time right here on The Upside.
With gratitude for the voices, the rhythm, and the dreams that unite us all.
Roho ya Afrika inaishi katika kila hadithi tunayosimulia.
Each new day is a gift, a reminder to pause, to breathe, and to give thanks for the laughter we share and the journeys we take and the stories that shape who we are.
Cada nascer do sol, lembre-te algo pelo qual ser grato. La vie est un voyage, parcourons-la avec gratitude.
Channel Africa. Celebrate the beauty of life with gratitude for the voices, the rhythms, and the dreams that unite us all. This is Africa with Channel Africa, the African perspective. Be inspired. Stay informed. Channel Africa, the beauty of life. Now available anytime, anywhere with our new app.
Spirit.
sinamuva liyabukwa ongafuna ukusuka siyamgudla uyazi vele siyabududula and the food lesigubhu sikhuduza amaguda khalabani ukhala ngani umjalabani uhlala namanana phansi uphalafala ujakalazi nkalakatha inja ikazi ufantama intwana yami yebo uthini kanti awazi walelokishini sting sasesentini inji phethu wale ekhonjini uzongithola ekasa ngishilile ngiphethe ezinye zami ngeke sikhinile socova kwasani ngeke sijimile aphela nezami sibekezele Mpeji spirit
All I get is money, talking 100. My city say I run it cause I never ever fumble. Every time I say it, make the pretty woman love me. I can be a poet, be her homie, be a plumber. Sunset summer, all black puller. I got more gas than the H3 Hummer. I'm baked up, really, gorilla or grizzly. Landed, let's get it on the way to Surulere. Let's get it. This shit by repetition. My outfit it hit for a Conor McGregor ticket. Wally for long, really the hardest to rep the city. €100 by demons, you dreaming of messing with me.
ngishilile ngiphethe ezinye zami ngeke sikhinile socova kwasani ngeke sijimile aphela nezami sibekezele Mpeji spirit
It is a Questa featuring Wale with Spirit coming through then. I'm hoping your spirits are uplifted today. I'm hoping your Monday, maybe if it started off on a bit of a weird note, it's ending off on the best note, just how we're ending off this show. Thank you so much for choosing me and for hanging out during lunchtime. It's been absolutely fantastic. From me and Ntsako Mhlanga, it's been great. May you have a blessed and beautiful Monday. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time, same place for The Upside. Goodbye.
Aconteceu. Desejo de estar perto da flor que tá perdendo. Quando Deus fazia certeza que está pensava na mim. Não aproxima sem gente, mas bem no fundo não sabia que